So today's going to be fun. We're going to do a little bit of watercolor to start with our Paul Rubens set. And then I also have some golden open acrylics, and we're going to do some jelly plate printing and possibly some image transfers on the jelly plate. I got this image here that was a photocopy of, or I'm sorry, laser print of, from a National Geographic photo. The photos themselves don't transfer from National Geographic for some reason. So I just scanned it and printed it out. So let's get started. Spritz the paper a little bit. I'm not going to make any marks to begin. I'm just going to start painting. Got a little bit of Payne's Gray here. And I'm just going to kind of put it through here. So let's put down some of this. I am working on the Jack Richardson printmaking paper because I wanted something really smooth. And unfortunately, most of my watercolor paper has a little bit of texture to it, so it's not going to print as well with a gel plate. And the watercolor works pretty well on this. Let's add some lines. So the idea is just to create some marks. I'm going to lift some of this, just a little bit of this paint out of here. And one thing you have to worry about with the printmaking paper is that you can't put a lot of layers of watercolor on it. It does tend to pill a little bit. Let's take some yellow ochre and put that through here. I'm not sure what we're making here. We're just going to make some stuff. Add a little bit of that Payne's Gray with some of that ochre color. Just making something. Okay, let's let this dry. Okay, I want to add in just a little bit more of this Payne's Gray coming through here, just to give it a little bit more drama. Thought it was looking a little weak. Okay, so I'm just going to cut out the shape here. Obviously, I don't want it all. I'm thinking something along here. So let's do that. Either this clip is sped up or I'm really good at cutting. Okay, we're using the Amsterdam Acrylic Oxide Black to transfer this. I'm just going to put a little bit of it down. Don't need a lot. And I'm going to come in with my brayer. Okay, this brayer sucks. It's not brayering. Okay, that's probably good enough. I think it'll work. Let's put down this little piece of collage. Lightly press for about 10 seconds. Don't worry about all that. I'm going to clean that up. Pick it up and see what we got. See if it did anything. Okay, it made a little bit of an impression. Let's do... I'm actually going to do a secondary layer here. Let's see which one we like best. That's the thing about image transfers. You never know what you're going to get. It's kind of a hit or miss sitch. Okay, that's not awful. I am going to get my little... wipe some of this off a little bit, because we don't want all of that black in there. We don't need that. So I'm gonna, let's see, I don't really like that shape. It's too even, so let's take a little bit of this off. Because really all we want is the texture. I'm not really concerned about I mean, the shape is important, but it's not the end all. Okay, let's start there. I'm gonna dry this and put some acrylic medium down. Okay, we've got a little bit of matte medium here. This is what's gonna lift this off the paper. I'm gonna use my, instead of a brayer, I'm gonna use my color shaper. Sometimes it does a better job of smoothing it out. Sometimes you can pick up too much with the brayer. It'll stick to the paint a little bit. So I've been using color shaper. Okay, we don't want that to dry. Now I take our paper. Which side are we gonna put it on? I don't know that it matters. Let's flip this over. I like to work with my jelly plate this way. So I have a sheet of plastic on here. This way I can position it where I want it to be and see through the back, because sometimes I get it crooked. I think I want it right there. Now obviously we're gonna have to do another one to kind of come down through there. Maybe. Kind of feels like a big rock to me. Just give this, the plastic sheet also helps with using your Baron and getting good pressure on it, because we're not rubbing the back of the paper. Now we have a fun mark. Let's see, what do we want to do next? Oh, I think I know what I want to do. Okay, so I've got a sheet of deli paper here. I want to make a mask for this. Because I kind of want it to come through here. We're going to do some text transfer now from a magazine. And I kind of want to just make a mark or a shape that comes through here. So I don't want it to be too big. I think that looks good. So what I'm going to do is cut this out. And then we'll use that as a mask. It's nice to use this way because then we can see through where we're making the mask. Okay, so here's our mask down here. Important to remember that you're going to flip it over. So if you want it on, so like if we want it to come on this side, we need to make sure to put it on this side. Not crazy important. Also, if you have any text, we're just going to be using magazine text. It will be reversed. So let's put a little bit of this down. And it's the same process as what we used before. Ah, that brayer sucks. I'm going to use a fat one because that one just is terrible. It's going to make a huge mess though. This is what happens when you don't clean your studio. So here we have some text about eating like a Viking. We're just going to put this down. Same thing, about 10 seconds, light pressure. This is a Vogue magazine that we're using right here. Oh, it worked. I love it when it works, because then I don't feel like I didn't do something right. You might hear some thunder. We're expecting thunderstorms today, so if you hear thunder, that's what that is. And there's our text. Let me clean up this up and we'll put some matte medium down. Okay, a couple drops of matte medium. Put this across here. And we're going to print this. Flip it over, put it where we want it. I kind of want it to overlap a little bit. And kind of come down maybe so it looks more like a hill or something. I like incorporating text into my work in a subtle way. It doesn't have to mean anything. Like, we can't read that. We can't tell what it is. I don't think that matters. Get firm pressure here on the back. Let's see what we get. That's good. And there we go. That's kind of fun. Okay, let's move on to adding more color in here. Okay, so I think I'm going to put some of this bright green color in here in some spots. Now these open acrylics are transparent. You can see by the little marks there, kind of shows you how transparent. So we're using the sap green and the cadmium yellow mixed together. So got my plastic knife out here. The good thing about the open colors is they do just that. They stay open for a lot longer than normal acrylics, so you can work with them. They work well on the Gelli plate because of that. I'm just going to kind of make some marks. I could just do this on the paper, but I kind of wanted to see how they worked on the Gelli plate. If you saw Jackie Bernardi's last video, I'll leave a link to her video below. She had some fun experiments with using the open acrylics. Okay, this is not really what I want it to be. It's way too much, I think. Let me get a little water in here so we can get some of that off. Remember to always use silicone or plastic tools on your Gelli plate. You don't want to pierce it, then it doesn't work. Okay, let's flip this over. Ooh, that's a lot. Is that too much? Nah, we're gonna do it anyway. We're gonna do it anyway. I don't think it's too much. I love, you're gonna be able to see a lot of the transparency. You should be able to see all of the layers underneath. A little bit left on there. Let's come in with our palette knife just a little bit. Let's scrape back in. Some of these thicker areas could be a little... I love this. Let's see if we can get another ghosty pull off this. I'm going to go more like that. And I think we're going to use some yellow ochre. The thing about the transparent paint, you don't want to add, if you add white to it, you're going to, unless you add a transparent white. Oh, do I have a transparent white? I might have a transparent white. I just thought of that. It's not going, it'll affect the transparency of the colors. So keep that in mind. If you mix white with it, it's going to take down the transparency a little bit. So if that's something you like, you should do that. Okay, so this is the transparent mixing white from Liquitex. We're going to see how that works. I mixed up some yellow ochre with that green and some of the white, and I kind of want to bring just a little bit through here. I don't know what that shape looks like. Maybe it looks like... Ooh, that's pretty. That's pretty cool. Just kind of playing with this idea of shape. Kind of thinking about lines, texture, all the things that we talk about all the time. Let's take some of that off. Don't want it too thick. If it gets too thick, it tends to blob. There's kind of a fine line in there. Sometimes I will put the piece underneath to kind of see where I'm going with it, but I'm going to kind of wing it today. Another advantage of the Gelli plate. Okay. Okay, I like that shape. let's print this on here. I did dry this piece. I forgot to do it backwards, but that's okay. Oh, maybe I can, here, we'll do this. No, I'll do it this way. Yeah, I can do it this way. I'm interested to see how that transparent white works, because that can kind of make us add some different colors to it. And I kind of just wanted to show you guys the different ways to use a jelly plate other than just making, you know, jelly prints. It can be used as almost a monotyping tool, which is how we're using it today. And you get some really interesting marks with it. So I wanted to make sure you guys, it's one of my favorite techniques. I haven't used it in a while, so I thought we'd bring it back because it's fun to use, the jelly plate. Okay, I just want to put a line of ochre through here, I think. Make a fun mark. Just kind of come on across there a little bit. Oh, I don't like that wavy shape. Okay, this one's going to be really thin. That's okay. I want it to come up a little bit through there. I didn't get rid of all the waviness, but we can get rid of that later. Let's scrape back in a little bit. Oh, I like that. That's kind of fun. Do I want more of that? Let's do, I think I want a little bit, maybe through here. Oh, wrong palette knife. Okay, let's pick this up a little bit. Oh, I got a little bit of green on there. Oops. Don't want that. Oh, it's not that big of a deal. Actually, it's kind of neat. Okay, so let's do, I kind of want it just to come down a little bit through here. So you can see what kind of fun marks you can make. You can also use like any rubber tools that you have, any spatulas, any kitchen utensils, anything that's rubber based is really awesome on the jelly plate. Okay, got some pretty good layers here. Okay, let's start off with a little bit of our favorite new yellow color. Coming through here, making marks through there. Coming with the palette knife a little bit. I can need more highlight color through there. So I'm liking this combination of the painting underneath and then oil pastel on top. I think it gives some really dynamic layers, and you can add so many more colors. I love the scraping back in. I think it's a fun way to add marks. You guys hear that thunder out there? I'm trying to get this done because I hope sometimes we lose power during storms. Not usually, but this will be the time, right, when I'm trying to make a video. But we should be fine. Okay, so I want to add in some ochre marks down here at the bottom. Another layer over this layer. And you can really see how the layers have, they're starting to, well, you can see right through them. They're very transparent. Really giving us some fun marks and shapes. We need a darker color. Before we do that, let's add in a little bit more of this white or this yellow coming through here. Just to kind of give us another layer of highlights. Now you will have to fix this so that all the oil pastels don't come up on you. But that's an easy thing to do. I've been using the Sennelier Pastel Fixative. I need something else coming through here. I need a darker color. Okay, this is a really darky brown color. Darky brown color. What does that even mean? I swear I'm losing my brain. Ooh, that's fun. I like that. I'm going to scrape that in just a little bit. Although I'm going to smooth it out actually. I kind of like that mark that we made there. Gonna make it go up here a little bit. And then I think I want to add one more spot of that. What if we added just a little bit through here? It's scraped back in. Let's add some more of that yellow in there too. They kind of blend together a little bit. Ooh, that's fun. I like that. I like that yellow and that brown together. Kind of creates a nice sense of depth back there. Let's add more of that. Thunder. I got frickin' Garth Brooks running through my head now. I'm not going to start singing. Well, I might. Thunder roll, lightning strike. I'm in a very silly mood today. I don't know what's going on. Okay. Do we need... What else do we need? I think we might need some pops of a light blue. Or maybe just white. Let's just try white. I kind of want to bring some white through here. I feel like my sky is lacking a little bit. What do we think about that? I kind of like it, but I kind of like that. Let's just smooth it out. Oh, dirty finger. And maybe, what about this blue? What if we did something electrically blue, just a little bit? I don't know why, but blue scares me sometimes. It's not a color I use very often, like in pure form. Like I use a lot of Payne's gray, a lot of muted blues, but sometimes it freaks me out a little bit. I like the mixing of the pastels on the page. I don't know where my page is ending. I've kind of lost that whole narrative. It's gone. Ooh, I like that. Okay, let's add some black marks. I think and then just maybe a few down here. Sometimes when you get a lot of oil pastels all in one spot, it gets a little tougher to make the marks. It wants to stick to the paper. So that's something to be aware of. No loopies. I feel like it needs to be some there. Okay. I like these brown marks a lot. I think it's good. I think it's good. Let's look at it with a mat. Okay, I lied. Let's... I thought it might need a few touches of white. Just in some spots. Like really light. Just like a little monotone through here. Maybe even some down here, just a little bit. Okay, let's now look at it with the mat. Okay, so here it is with the mat. I like it. I like the watercolor and the jelly printing. Like, I think this is really cool. I kind of covered most of this up over here, but that's okay. You can still kind of see some of it coming through. But you guys know me, I cover things up. I like the print through here. I think is really subtle but cool. I like the transparent paint over the watercolor paint. I think that's really fun. And I like the oil pastels and the pops of color that we added. It's very interesting, I think, with all the marks and the lines. The next thing I want to try is starting off with the watercolor, maybe adding some wax resist before we put the watercolor down to see if we can add more layers that way. You could always add collage. You could always do a whole bunch of things, but I really like how this one turned out. It feels very painterly to me and very, it's still abstract, but it feels like a place that I've been to. I mean, it could be anywhere. I don't know. It feels like the prairie. It feels like the beach, maybe a little bit. I don't know. But I do like it. I like it. I think it works. I think we're going to continue playing with the jelly plate going forward. I really miss the jelly plate. Maybe we'll break out our oxide inks next time and try that. If there's something you want me to try, let me know in the comments. I'm always happy to experiment with new ideas. But this was a good one. This was a good one. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Would you try this? Would you try using your jelly plate in this way? Making marks and putting down layers? Or do you prefer just to paint, with acrylic paint over watercolor? Thoughts, thoughts, thoughts. Okay, thanks so much. We'll see you next time. Bye.